volleyball beat Oregon State on Sunday.
The soccer team won back-to-back Pac-12 matchups.
And Sports Mag gets an inside look at punter Dara O'Neill. Sports Mag starts now.
Hello and welcome to CU Sports Mag. I'm Audra Streetman.
And I'm Alexis Perry. We have a lot of sports to catch up on, Audie.
That's right. We are starting off with some exciting news from the men's cross-country team. The men's cross-country team defended their Pac-12 championship by racing to another title last Saturday morning. They defeated second place by Stanford by a score of 49-82 and had 3 runners in the top 10. All 7 runners placed under the top 15 and finished under a time of 23 minutes and 46 seconds. The Buffs did not return a single scorer from the 2011 season and lost their 3 star seniors, making this win even more impressive. This was the last Buffs back-to-back conference title since their last stretch in the Big 12 from 1996 to 2007. The latest national coaches poll heading into the final week of the cross-country season has the Buffs second in the nation after last week's Pac-12 championship title. They are just behind the Big 12 champions Oklahoma State, who have been ranked first over the past 2 weeks. Pac-12 runner-up Stanford are right behind the Buffs in ranking number 3 in the nation. The Buffs have exceeded outside the expectations of their preseason poll of 5th overall, and by repeating as Pac-12 champs. The women's team is heading into their final week of the season, ranked 24th, but are still expecting to make an impact at the national championships.
The CU football team may still be feeling a little roughed up after last week's trip to Oregon. The undefeated Ducks rolled past the Buffs in an impressive fashion. Oregon scored 56 points in the first half alone, and the Buffs scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to make it 70-14. Freshman Christian Powell was the lone bright spot for the Buffs and rushed for 121 yards and scored both of CU's touchdowns. Oregon is now preparing to play USC this weekend, where they'll see if they've been hit by what is now being called the Colorado curse. Every team that has been beaten by the Buffs this year has lost their next game. The Ducks may be the next victim. The football team's struggles in the first half may have been ugly, but it wasn't the first time. That leads us to this week's trivia question. When was the only other time CU allowed 56 points in the first half of a football game? Think it over, and we'll have the answer for you later in the show.
John Embry remains optimistic against CU's homecoming against Stanford. In this weekly Tuesday press conference, Embry said the team will need to have strong performance to stop the Cardinal. He said it's going to be a very physical game up front. Our offensive and defensive lines need to play their best games of the season. When asked how important these last few home games are for the team, he said, "We get 3 games, so we need to win a game at home, or at least 1. The team gets a chance this weekend against Stanford. Kickoff is at noon."
Having home field advantage is always a plus, but one player on the football team gets a little extra support. Sports Mag's Rose Heafy reports on how CU punter has a deeper, bolder route than most Buffs on the team.
Like it when their punter has to come onto the field. But at one bar in Boulder, watching number 8 walk onto the grass creates a sense of pride.
I've seen almost every one of his games, and and it's been a lot of fun.
Colm O'Neill isn't just the proud father of Dara O'Neill, he's also the co-owner of Boulder bar, Connor O'Neill's. The Irish bar proudly wears its heritage on its sleeve, and its staff shows their support on their backs.
It's cool that they support me so much and support the team, and it's a lot of fun.
And the Irish influence doesn't stop here at Connor O'Neill's with the different types of brews that they sell, but it was also an inspiration for Dara's kicking style.
That's just basically from Gaelic football, which is an Irish sport. And, in that sport, you really have to be able to kick with both your right and left foot, and that's something that just stemmed from that.
And it was a style his father helped teach him.
My dad helped me out, and we just went out to the field, and pretty much every day or every other day we went out and we kicked.
When Dara got the opportunity with the tryout for the punting for the Buffs, I kind of felt, because he had spent a lot of summers in Ireland playing Irish football, I think I definitely thought there were such similarities that it would really benefit him.
And thanks to his dad's help, Dara impressed the CU coaches enough last spring to earn a spot on the team.
Get him on the field, and really his versatility. He's able to kick the ball left, right, and place it very well. And he's also able to roll out, and makes it really tough on punt return teams.
But Colin thinks he'll keep his day job at Connors.
I suppose in hindsight, there's a lot more to the whole punting thing than definitely he or I ever thought there was.
While this season has been a struggle for the Buffs, it has offered a lot of opportunities for the young punter.
I suppose half tongue-in-cheek, that's what I'm kind of saying to him. I said, like, isn't this a boon for a punter? I mean, like, if you want to be a good punter, hell, CU is definitely the team to be on.
His father says he thinks Dara's journey from walk-on to Division I starter will continue to serve as an inspiration to the Boulder community.
Like, again, if you're a kid in Louisville or Boulder and you look at like Dara O'Neill, I mean, there's definitely an element of like, I can be where he is.
It's something Dara doesn't take for granted.
Just being able to wear the black and gold and play for my hometown college is awesome.
The sophomore is currently averaging 43 yards per punt, with his longest punt reaching 57 yards. As he continues to improve and gain new success, his coaches may just need to pay Connor O'Neill's a visit.
I've yet to go. I know. You'd think I might get a free appetizer or something like that.
Because you never know where good talent may be brewing. Rose Heafy, CU Sports Mag.
As for our Buffs who are now playing in the NFL, Nate Solder started his 24th consecutive NFL game last Sunday. This stretch started on the first game in Solder's rookie season back in 2011. And Redskins offensive tackle Tyler Columbus is coming fresh off a $75,000 fine for a leg whip in Week 7 against the Giants. We'll have to see what the CU alums will accomplish this week.
The votes are in for the men's basketball Pac-12 standings, and that is after the break. We'll see where we stand.
Also, Sports Mag meets up with one freshman on the men's team. See how he'll fit in the mix up next.
CU students who join the Peace Corps are usually very adventurous people, very outdoorsy. They usually are very caring, very passionate people.
For the second year in a row, CU Boulder has outproduced all other universities in the nation, both big and small, in the number of alumni who are serving as Peace Corps volunteers. That's a very, very important thing for us.
Peace Corps continues to be the gold standard for international volunteer service. It's Americans making a difference around the world, and many of those Americans have come from this great university.
I'm not sure if it's a beautiful setting or the mountains or the weather, but one thing's for sure, there's a special civic pride on this campus.
The great spirit of volunteerism here on campus and internationalism that you find here really just kind of brings Peace Corps out a little more than it does on other campuses, I think.
You should be very proud to come from a campus that inspires so much public service and collectively works to build a better world.
Fine to me. I thought he would just sleep it off.
I didn't think he was that bad.
I had no idea he was taking prescription drugs. He only drank as much as me. I was fine.
We didn't want to get in trouble.
I thought this kind of thing happened all the time.
I thought someone else was taking care of him. If I would have called.
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 If I would have just called.
I'd still be alive.
Oh my God. What is she thinking? Her hair? Ew. No one likes you.
No wonder you don't have any friends.
You're so ugly and
Ew,
fat.
is she really wearing that?
Wow.
So she's so weird. Who wears that? That is so gross.
Oh, wow.
Seriously?
After winning last year's Pac-12 championship and advancing to the second round of the NCAA tournament, the Buffs were picked to finish just 6th place in the Pac-12. Arizona finished atop the standings after bringing in the #1 nationally ranked recruiting class. Falling behind Arizona by 1 vote was UCLA. California, Stanford, and Washington are all ranked above Colorado. The bottom 6 include Oregon, Oregon State, Southern California, Washington State, Arizona State, and Utah in that respective order. The 2012 season tips off next Friday at the Coors Event Center at 5 o'clock against Wofford College.
The basketball teams have yet to play this season, but Sports Mag has been keeping a close watch on the basketball team. Sports
Mag's Sean Espinoza and Scott Alberto tell us what to expect from Colorado this season.
Scott Alberto, and today we're talking CU basketball.
This week it was announced that CU was picked number 6 in the
terrible
Pac-12.
look on my face.
Why do you think this is?
I think the biggest reason is because of the loss of Carlin Brown. He was the biggest player for us last year. He was the one that pumped us up, got us into the Pac-12 championship, and got us that win against in the NCAA tournament in the first round. So I think that's kind of a big impact as well. We're still a very young team. I think you could talk a little bit more about that too.
Yeah, we only have one senior this year, but we do have some great returning people. Like, we have Askia and Didwitty. We also have Andre Robertson on the defensive side. We have a good team, and the freshman recruits that we have, all 6 of them are really great. So I don't think that that's scared fans away, and obviously it hasn't, because we've had a record in season ticket sales so far. So looking at some other teams that we've been against in the past, I think we're definitely going to hold our own.
I definitely think our top 2 recruits, Xavier Johnson. He was an 83rd recruit coming in overall ranked in the nation, 17th small power forward, and as well as that, we have Wesley Gordon, who's a 3 or 4-star prospect, 6'8", 225 forward. That's a big guy for a forward. I expect him to come in and just make a huge impact on every single game that he's playing in. As well as we have Josh Scott, who's the 65th best forward coming into the recruitment as well. So I'm just so excited to see how all these young guys can do. I think it's going to bring great energy to the stadium, and I just am so excited to see what we can do.
Definitely. I think Coors Event Center is going to be explosive. We have a lot of tough competition, though. They have Arizona ranked as number 1 and UCLA ranked as number 2. I think that even though with these teams being ranked so high, I think the fact that we were ranked 6th is really going to push us to compete even better with these teams. I think it's definitely lit a fire under us, and it's going to do some great things.
I definitely got to agree that UCLA bunch is going to be a great group this year. They have the number 2 ranked guy coming in, is Shabazz Muhammad. I've seen him play a little bit in his high school days, and he just attacks the rebounds. He attacks the boards, and he is just phenomenal scorer. Right now, he is ineligible by the NCAA for reasons I can't quite remember. In addition, they have Kyle Anderson, who's the 5th recruit coming in the nation. So they're going to be a real tough squad. And the number 1 ranked Arizona in the Pac-12 right now, they also had a really, really great recruitment class. I believe it was about 5 people that they had coming in. They got Caleb Tazarski, I believe. He was, I think the number 9 recruitment coming in, and they have 3 coming in the top 16. And he's going to be the centerpiece for that team. He is going to be the center, the great rebound guy, and he's just going to be really tough to guard. And I hope Andre Robertson can keep up with him, which I think he can do with his veteran experience.
Absolutely. And with CU having such the strong crowd basis that we do, we have one of the best student sections in the country. I think that's another thing that being ranked lower than we feel that we are is really going to do for the students to help push us along and do, really help take our team to the top, just like we did at the Pac-12 tournament. I think that also, as reigning Pac-12 champions, that's also a lot of pressure, but I think that's pressure that's going to work with us.
Oh, yeah. We won it with guys that are on the team right now. They definitely have high expectations, I think, as well as Tad Boyle does, and as well as our fans. We're going to have great support all season long, like you said, record season tickets. And I am just super excited. We got great super fans this year, and I'm really excited to see what we can do.
I'm definitely excited for this upcoming season, too, and I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen. I'm also looking forward to us going up in football this week, and also so I think that's about all the time we have, and we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Basketball season is quickly approaching here at CU. The first home game is November 9th. Sports Mag's Alyssa Gurchie caught up with CU students about the basketball team in this week's Man on the Street.
Excitement for Buff basketball has carried over since last March. CU set a basketball season ticket record this year with a 27% increase over last year's total. So I'm out here on campus seeing what CU students think this season has in store.
But yeah, we're supposed to be pretty good, so I'm kind of excited to go to the games and actually watch a pretty good team.
Yeah, I think might even the pain of the football season.
I'm excited to see some wins from CU basketball. Hopefully be better than last year.
Sure. Generally I like to go with my friends, so whatever they're excited for, which a lot of times is sports, I just kind of go along with. So yeah.
I do not have season tickets, but I'll probably buy some tickets.
Not to basketball, but for football I do. So.
No, but I might be able to get them, so.
70 to 59, I guess.
I'm guessing it'll be just under 100 points.
We'll probably win by 10 points.
Let's say 89 to 75.
I have no idea who any of the players are on the team.
I guess the whole team's favorite player.
That really tall one. I really like the tall guy, you know?
I don't know. They're all so awesome. I just pick them all.
Well, it looks like CU students are excited for this upcoming basketball season, and they can't wait for it to start. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Melissa Gertschy.
Well, speaking of the men's basketball team, there are a lot of fresh faces on the team this season. And here at Sports Mag, we wanted to give some of these freshmen a warm welcome. This week, we met up with Lewis Palmer High School alum Josh Scott and asked him what he hopes to bring to the team.
I chose CU for the coaching staff and to be close to home, and also the fans were great, so it was an easy choice for me. I don't really pay attention just because I kind of feel like I don't want to get too big of a head, and I just want to go out and play, and I don't want to listen to other people. I just go out and do my thing, so don't really pay attention. Football games, even though we've lost a couple, it's kind of cool to see everybody out there. I think I'm gonna possibly try to get into the School of Education next year, try to be a teacher, maybe. I think I want to do psychology and sociology at the high school level. Sleep and eat. I like to sleep and eat all day long, every day. Right now, some friend of mine recommended Macklemore, so I'm pretty much on the Macklemore stuff right now, so no big deal. I know a lot of people around Colorado that are going to come out, and it's not just because I'm here, it's because Wesley and Xavier Talton and even probably Sab and Bo, because there's a lot of Colorado kids on this team, and I know that there's going to be a lot of Colorado fans, not just from our schools, but probably from around the state coming out to watch our games, so that's going to be pretty exciting.
Up next, we have a review of the last 3 games from the women's volleyball team.
Also a look at CU Gymnastics Team Clinic. Stay tuned.
Yep.
We won 24 NCAA championships, sent 18 NASA astronauts into space, inspired 4 Nobel laureates, unlocked the genetic secrets of cancer in a place that averages over 300 days of sunshine a year, ranks as America's smartest and healthiest city, and is home to the mightiest mascot in college sports. If you didn't know what the University of Colorado is all about, now you do.
Because it is. Do you think taking steroids is cool? It's not. Steroids may make you big and strong now, but actually will hurt you in the long run. Are these your goals? Liver tumors, shrinking of testicles, infertility, baldness, development of breasts, paranoid jealousy, and jail. Unless you want those side effects, don't do steroids. Steroids, unnecessary.
I have a big emergency, and I'm at work. My daughter's school is 2 blocks away. That would be a very convenient meeting place for all of us.
We'd meet up at his parents' house.
A meeting place? Not really.
My husband would definitely pick up the girls from school.
I would want to make sure that she has the girls or is on her way to get the girls.
I know that there's a plan, but I don't know what the plan is.
Freshman Alexis Austin hammered a career-best 18 kills and helped the University of Colorado volleyball team move past Oregon State in 4 sets on Sunday afternoon in Boulder. With the win, the Buffs moved into a 3-way tie for 7th place in the Pac-12 Conference with a 4-8 record. Nira Ortiz-Ruiz was 1 kill shy of her career best with 13 kills in the victory. The number 3 nationally ranked Oregon Ducks pulled away in each game to defeat the CU volleyball team Friday evening at the Coors Event Center. Freshman Alexis Austin recorded a team-high 8 kills, and sophomore Kelsey English and Anna Pantovic each added 7 kills. The Buffs wore pink in support of the fight against breast cancer. In their 3rd straight match against a nationally ranked opponent, CU fell 13-10 overall and 3-8 in the Pac-12. The CU volleyball team suffered a tough loss to Washington State, falling 3-0 Wednesday night. Freshman Alexis Austin led the Buffs with 10 kills, and Nikki Lindau and Nicole Edelman each added 7 kills for the Buffs in the effort. The Buffs are currently in Seattle, Washington, for a contest against number 8 Washington. The game will be broadcast regionally on the Pac-12 network.
The Buffs soccer team won 3-0 over the University of Arizona. Colorado's defense came up big with 2 backs scoring in the game. Lizzie Herzl scored her 3rd goal of her career in the first half, while Story Ledger added insurance by putting one in the back of the net just before the first half ended. In the second half, both teams took 6 shots, but Colorado was the only team to put one away, as Bianca Jones netted her 2nd career goal. This is the first time the Buffs have won back-to-back Pac-12 matchups. Then, the CU soccer team lost a close one to Arizona State in double overtime. CU goalkeeper Annie Bruner had a season high of 9 saves, but it wasn't enough. The Buffs fell 2-1 against the Sun Devils. Senior captain Amy Barzuk scored her 4th goal, and the team went to the break tied 1-1. In the second overtime, with just 22 seconds to go, the Sun Devils shot to her far corner to score, ending the game. CU will be facing Utah at home for senior night on Friday.
Not every athlete on campus plays a Division I sport. Many students participate in the club programs here at CU. Sports Mag Sean Espinoza reports how the gymnastics club springs things into action.
Every CU sports fan is no stranger to seeing the cheerleaders tumbling down the field to pump fans up, but they're not the only bus flipping around campus. The Boulder Gymnastics Club at CU is a student organization that competes against other club teams across the nation.
The cool thing about our club is it's really designed for all levels, whether you're just starting or like a really advanced gymnast.
But you don't have to be an elite gymnast to compete for the team.
We got to go to nationals with people who have never done gymnastics before and people who've competed in USAG like gymnastics for years and years.
The club is open to both male and female athletes, creating a positive team environment.
There are little differences because some girls have different events and some guys have different events too. But at the same time, it's just really fun because we get to work out together and just get to know each other because the sport's all about having fun.
Freshman Rachel Roller encourages new athletes to come on out even if it's just to try something new.
I was super bummed when I graduated high school because I thought I wouldn't be able to compete anymore or like do gymnastics or even really be active. So joining the team is like a really great way to stay involved, even if you've never done gymnastics. Like, there's lots of beginners here.
Grad student Ryan Whitted came to CU from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, where he also competed. He appreciates that there is more coach involvement on CU's team.
One thing that's really nice about here is it's coached. Before we all were just self-coached. So it's definitely nice to have like a actual coach that direct us and whatnot.
Head coach Kenny Rosenstein mentors the athletes all the way through the nationals competition.
We train at Cats Gymnastics in Boulder. Right now we're just starting to get everyone back in shape, basically working on the basics, strength and flexibility, and then going on from there, starting to put skills together, work on routine pieces, getting ready for their first competition at the gym here, and then hopefully an out-of-state competition and then nationals.
Members of the BCG at CU say it is a great way to meet new people, stay in shape, and learn some cool new skills in your time as a buff.
It's really fun.
Although the club is new to CU, this is definitely a team that you can fall head over heels for. Sean Espinoza, CU Sports Mag.
Well, that's a club that I just might have to join.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, up next, we'll have the answer to our trivia question.
And Rose Heaphy answers your question in this week's Buff Banter. Stay tuned.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
This isn't where you want to be. Don't use a fake ID.
They said I would be more focused. They said I'd get better grades. It's nothing like they told me. It's not what you expected. Don't abuse prescription drugs.
CU women's golf team finished up their fall season this week at Alamo Invitational in San Antonio. The women struggled big time, finishing 13th overall at 58 over par for the week. Junior Jenny Coleman, and freshman Alexis Ketting were the bright spots for the Buffs on Tuesday, finishing 3 over par for the day. Coleman ended the tournament at 36 overall and shot the Buffs' best 7 over par. The team will have 3.5 months until spring season starts up in February in Palos Verdes, California.
Former CU golfer Tom the Human 2-Iron Woodard is going to be the newest Buff to be inducted into the Colorado Golf Hall of Fame. The CU great will be the 11th Buffalo to be given the prestigious honor. Woodard was the first African-American man to play golf for the University of Colorado and was named All-Conference twice before going on to the PGA Tour. After a stint in the pros, Woodard co-founded the First Tee of Denver and was inducted into the National Black Golfers Hall of Fame.
Well, it's time for that tricky trivia answer. Let's remind you what the question was one more time. It was, when was the only other time CU allowed 56 points in the first half of a football game? And the answer is, the last time the Buffs had that big of a first half struggle was against UCLA in 1980. The loss kicked off what became a horrible season of 1-10 for the Buffs. Wow.
All right, well, you asked, and we finally have questions for you.
Rose Heafy's answers from your questions from Facebook and Twitter in this week's Buff Banter.
Hi, I'm Rose Heafy here with this week's Buff Banter, where we here at Sports Mag answer all your CU sports questions that you send us on Twitter and Facebook. Basketball's on everyone's mind, and it's on Pierre Celestin's mind. He sent us a question on Facebook asking, what does Andre Roberson have to do to be a productive big man again this season? That's a great question, Pierre. Andre was one of the standout players on the team last season. He averaged a double-double, more than 11 points and 11 rebounds per game, and he really stepped up from his freshman season. Now this time, he's going to have to be a true veteran, and now he's got that NCAA tournament under his belt and experience under his belt, and he's got to be aggressive and really box out down low. Now that double-double now, it's an expectation, and he needs to continue to produce, and he's got to have that confidence and be the spark and kind of step up to where Carlin Brown was last year, who was really the energizer with those windmill dunks. Now looking to our next question, Elise Farino asked off Twitter, do you think promoting Nick Hirschman when we start to starting quarterback will help the Buffs get any better at football? Well, Elise, this is a very complicated question. There are a lot of moving parts in football, and it's a very young team, both on the offense and defense, so it's hard to just pick on one exact player. Kansas transfer Jordan Webb, he won the spot in the preseason, and while his performance hasn't exactly been the best, 56% completion, only 8 touchdowns, and Hirschman hasn't had a lot of time, so it's really going to be, we'll just have to see. Now, taking a look at our Twitter followers of the week, we have Old School 888 and Kyle Ringo, who is a writer for the BuffZone.com. So that's all the time we have for Buff Banter this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and back to the desk.
Thanks, Rose. I know that definitely answered some of my questions.
Well, I'm still struggling with, where I'm at with the football program. I'm, a big Buffs fan. Doesn't matter, die hard, but I'm almost at the point where I'm just looking forward to basketball season. What about you? Are you going to head up to the games?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited for our team. I think we have a really great shot this season, and we have such talent on our team, so I'm excited to see how that plays out.
We had a great recruiting class. I mean, I remember we got, Josh Scott. He's number 38 on ESPN's top 100 recruits. That is huge. We lost some really great players, but that's all the time we have for this week.
Yeah, make sure to visit cusportsmag.com and also follow us on Twitter @cusportsmag. Have a fabulous week.